And I want to tell you something about sex and love. Sex and love are two separate things. Sex does not produce love, but love can produce sex. Some people think that sex is love, but let me tell you something. If sex was love, the most loved person in the world would be the prostitute. But the prostitute gets a lot of sex, but no love. And I want you to notice something today. I want you to notice that you are not a dog. We were made in the image of G-O-D, not the image of D-O-G. And in our world today, we are trying to be dogs. When you see your friend, you don't say, that's my friend. You say, hey, man, that's my dog. And then everybody wants to be a dog. Even our singers are dogs now. We got Nate Dogg, Snoop Dogg, Bow Wow, Pitbull. You got to keep private things private. And you know there's some women in the world today who don't even have no shame. They got all the stomach out, their hip hanging out that way, the breast hanging out that way. And some of them, they ain't supposed to be wearing no bikini because they supposed to have a flat stomach. They ain't got no flat stomachs. They got 3 rolls. They walking around talking about, I'm sexy, you ain't sexy, you nasty. You ain't supposed to be wearing no bikini. You're supposed to be wearing a blanket. Keep private things private. In our world today, we are publicizing everything. Sometimes you walk to the mall and you hear babies crying. You know why? Because they seeing all kind of breasts, everything hanging out. They think that milk is coming. One of the greatest men in the history of the world, a man called David, King David, a man after God's own heart. As wise and as strong as he was, he nearly lost his kingdom because on Friday nights, instead of him doing what he's supposed to be doing, he's on the balcony watching women bathe. And one of the women, her name was Bathsheba. And like they say in the States, she was a bad mama jamma. She was a fine lady. And so here he is, the king, the great king, the man who wrote the Psalms, and he's looking over his balcony. Man, I'd like to hit that. There was a young lady in my church. She came to me one time and she said, Pastor Dave, I have a question for you. I have this boyfriend, but he doesn't like to come to church, and he's not a Christian, but he treats me nice. What do you think, Pastor Dave? I said, okay, honey, are you stupid by accident or are you intentionally stupid? Sometimes you buy a woman flowers and you think you just bought them a car. flowers. I was like, man, I ain't interested in no flowers. But women like flowers. Women like nice words. Men don't need no nice words. All they got to do is look over the balcony. The man look over the balcony and just like the microwave, bing! Ready to go. So a young lady came to me one time and she said, Pastor Dave, my boyfriend is asking me for some. So I said, let me tell you what to tell him. Tell him, say, okay, here's how you can get some. Explain to me your spiritual insight. Tell me about your mental, physical, social, and financial destiny. Show me how you can provide for me. Give me a place to stay. Put a ring on my finger. And know how to treat me right. And then you will not only get some, you'll get the full package. I'll back it up and you could smack it if you qualify. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. So sometimes we are looking for something spiritual to do. God says, you want to be spiritual? Control your body. He said, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So God is saying you love me and you want to worship me? Use your body as a sacrifice.